Hello, my name is Kay Davenport, and this is my National Intelligence Assessment final presentation. So for my National Intelligence Assessment, I chose to do it on the PAC group that we have been discussing and learning about throughout this semester. A quick summary on the PAC. The PAC is a notional domestic hate group that has launched increasingly violent attacks and campaigns against the Islamic community in Detroit and surrounding areas. The violence displayed by the group has quickly escalated from vandalism to muggings to now even drive-by shootings. This rapid escalation of violence has resulted in numerous preliminary civil rights and domestic terrorism investigations into the group. While the PAC may lack the ability to mobilize its followers with the same level of efficiency as international terrorist groups such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda, its white supremacist ideals and regional influence mirror that of groups such as the Ku Klux Klan, Atomwaffen, and the Patriot Front. With the PAC's ideals spreading to national levels, the FBI, DHS, DNI, and state and local law enforcement must work together to halt the spread of white supremacist ideals and stop the violent acts against the Muslim community. So next I gathered some key points and analytical judgments on the PAC. So first, we are concerned that the violence against the Muslim community is likely to spread. Next, other white supremacist groups will likely join and follow the PAC's lead. We assess that the PAC will continue targeting Muslims and will likely become increasingly violent. Based on geospatial intelligence gathered, Illinois, Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, Texas, and Florida are most likely to see an increase in violence towards Muslims. Heavily populated Muslim cities, including high-profile cultural significant mosques, remain the most likely targets for white supremacist groups. Local, state, and federal law enforcement should be on heightened alert for possible attacks. Outside organizations such as the Anti-Defamation League and Southern Poverty Law Groups could be consulted for their expertise on hate crimes and white supremacism moving forward. And lastly, the ability to detect and prevent a domestic threat, terrorist level threat against the Muslim community will take a combined effort from both government and non-government entities. Oh, sorry, let me go back. Next, we'll take a look at the threat assessment. The threat assessment on the PAC, the PAC presents a significant threat to the Islamic communities in the United States. After the Ryder truck attack in Denver, Colorado, the group posted a message condemning the incident and calling for the white community to rise against the Islamic immigrants that are ruining, quote unquote, ruining the nation. As the violence spreads and other groups could become victimized by the PAC, the group's anti-immigration white supremacist ideals could lead to the targeting of other minority groups such as Hispanics, Jews, and African Americans. The PAC's recruitment process is relatively unknown. However, we know that they have heavy influence online with their website and presence in chat rooms. Leader William Billy Payne's writings and comments are regularly published on the group's website. With online postings and repostings by other white supremacist groups, the PAC was able to assemble some 100 members to descend on the city of Ann Arbor in a staged rally. The rally quickly turned to violence, and many members were arrested. However, this garnered national attention and likely increased the recruitment for the group. The PAC's ideals also garnered support from other white supremacist groups There are roughly 450 white supremacist groups in the United States, including groups such as racist skinheads, neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates, the Ku Klux Klan and the Ku Klux Klan chapters. Most of the PAC's support is likely to come from the white supremacist groups. However, with recent government pushbacks, the PAC has shifted some of its views to represent corrupt/anti-government ideals. These ideals could garner support from groups such as the Patriot Front, Oath Keepers, and the Border Militia. This growing support could lead to nationally coordinated acts of violence against Muslims, immigrants, people of color, government officials, and law enforcement. Next, I'll conduct a threat credibility assessment on the PAC's ability to launch a large-scale attack on the Muslim or immigrant community within the United States. I'll be looking at the technical feasibility, operational practicability, and behavioral resolve. So first, the technical feasibility. The PAC garners large amounts of support from white supremacist and anti-government groups. The Ann Arbor protests were promoted on websites of numerous white supremacist, neo-Nazi, skinhead, Christian identity, anti-Muslim, and anti-immigration groups, with a vast network of race-fanatical websites, chat rooms, and discussion threads. The PAC has the technical feasibility to garner support and recruit members to their cause. This opens up the possibility for a nationally coordinated large-scale attack. Next, the operational practicability. It's unlikely that the PAC launches a large-scale indiscriminate attack since they view themselves as anti-terrorism and have condemned the Ryder truck attack. A large-scale targeted attack, however, against the Muslim or immigrant community is far more likely. With a membership ranging in the triple digits, the group has the manpower to conduct a large-scale attack. It, however, remains to be seen if the group has access to any weapons or explosives necessary to conduct a sizable operation. Lastly, behavioral resolve. While the violence displayed by the PAC has been escalating, it remains to be seen if the group is willing to resort to killing. Looking at the group's trajectory, it wouldn't come as a surprise if the next attack resulted in kidnapping, torture, or killing. However, this is still just a speculation as the group has yet to cross this threshold. A large-scale attack scenario could provide the group the opportunity needed to take that leap into lethality. Next, I gathered what I believe to be some of the current intelligence gaps that we are currently facing. So the first one is the question, does William Billy Payne still lead the PAC from behind bars? And then if so, how does he get his message out from within prison, and how can he be limited spreading his message? Next, does the PAC possess the capabilities to launch attacks across multiple state lines? We have seen them be able to launch attacks in multiple Michigan cities. However, we are not positive if they have been able to cross state lines and gather support outside of the Michigan area. Is the PAC support only regional, or does it reach national levels? Again, we've started seeing it grow outwards. However, we don't really know if it's reached a national level or if it's just more of a regional component. Will the PAC only target Muslims, or will the attacks cross racial boundaries? Again, they have only targeted Muslims thus far, but a lot of their ideals do talk about other races as well. So I'll be curious to see if the attacks remain purely Islamic in nature, or will go into other races or religions. And then next, will the PAC's violence escalate to killings? Then what other hate groups support the PAC? And finally, does the PAC have access to weapons or explosives? Next, I included a geospatial intelligence map that I created during Module 8. This map shows multiple layers of markers to show kind of a correlation in groupings. So the first marker is the red marker, and this shows states with large Muslim populations. Next is the green marker, which are states with high numbers of hate groups. Then the blue marker, which is states with high numbers of white supremacist propaganda, and the yellow marker, which is states with high numbers of hate crimes per capita. And then I made a hot zone key looking at going from red, which is very grouped up, high vulnerability, large groupings, and high correlations, to blue, which is low vulnerability, small or no grouping, and low correlation. So in this map, we see that there is a large grouping in these cities here, including Virginia, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and then here in Michigan, we see Michigan has 3, as well as this group in the middle is pretty vulnerable to possible attacks based off these criteria. Lastly, the vulnerability assessment. The PAC presents a significant threat to national security and the safety of the United States. The violence initially contained to the Detroit and Ann Arbor areas has spread to California, New York, and Mississippi. Additionally, the geospatial intelligence collected indicates that the violence may spread into states such as Illinois, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, Texas, and Florida. These states correlate due to their high numbers of Muslim residents, hate groups, white supremacist propaganda, and hate crimes. The pack is likely to target places with densely populated Muslim communities as well as high profile or culturally significant mosques / community centers. A few places that fit this criterion are the first being Dearborn, Michigan, which is home to the Islamic Center of America. Dearborn is located just 9 miles from Detroit and 37 miles from Ann Arbor and has a 40% Muslim population. The Islamic Center of America is also the largest mosque in the United States, accommodating some 3,000 individuals. The city's location, population, and cultural significance make this community a prime target for attack by the pack. Another vulnerable community is Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is home to the oldest standing mosque in the U.S. The Al-Sadiq Mosque is a very high profile and important symbol to the Muslim community, making it another possible target for the pack. Lastly, New York City is vulnerable to attack as it houses the highest number of mosques and has the a large number of hate crimes. In conclusion, the pack presents a huge domestic threat to the United States of America. While the pack is yet to kill, the profound escalation of violence and national white supremacist support for the group presents a huge risk for national security. Moreover, signs indicate that a large-scale national coordinated attack against the Muslim community is viable. Groups that could support the pack and conduct violent attacks of their own include the KKK, Adam Waffen, and Patriot Front, among others. It has been determined that cities such as Dearborn, Chicago, and New York are highly vulnerable to attacks by the pack and should be prioritized in defensive strategies moving forward. While it's likely the pack's ideals and influence are regionally limited, law enforcement and intelligence agencies should prepare for a national spread of violence against Islamic, immigrant, and minority communities. The domestic terrorism threat level should be deemed as critical moving forward. Thank you.